Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our 2026 quarterly village meeting. We are going to go ahead and get started because we have some amazing speakers coming on to have a conversation with you all. So we are going to begin. Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Miss Elmore, and Happy New Year to all of our attendees. We are so happy to have you here as we embark on a new year. Can you believe it's 2026? Not only is it 2026, it's January 13th of 2026. So we look forward to an amazing year because guess what? Our mission still rings clear. It still rings dear in our hearts, and it still rings. Somebody's ringing our doorbells every day saying, guess what? We have work to do. It's not the Avon lady, it's the children, the Black children, their families, and the communities in which they reside. Okay, Tatiana, let's keep it going.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Debbie. Hello, everyone. We're so excited to have you here for our first village quarterly meeting today. Thank you all so much for taking the time to join us. And as Miss Debbie said, yes, our mission is very impactful, and you being here supports the mission and the work that we do. And for those that don't know, our mission at BCDI Atlanta is to improve and advance the quality of life of for Black children, families in Georgia through education and advocacy. And a part of what we do is we focus on four primary areas to ensure that our mission is clear and met in our community. We have our family engagement where we promote our community cafes. On a quarterly basis, we meet to have conversations to advance and support our families. For our early care and education, we have an amazing workforce development program, our Expand ECE. And for literacy, we have our Read to Succeed program, where our goal is to increase the number of at-home libraries for children with books that reflect them as well as their experience. Our fourth focus area is public policy. For public policy, we have our Lifted Voices Fellowship program that allows us to provide coaching as well as professional development opportunities to public educators to equip them on how to support their community that they serve with resources that advocate for their programs and their families. As a part of the work that we do, we are sure to embed NBCDI's 8 essential outcomes for Black children development within our work. We want to make sure that with these 8 essential outcomes, children have access to quality health, education, nutrition, digital safety, representation, climate, narratives, and safe communities. These 8 essential outcomes were designed to ensure that all children, especially our Black children, have access to the essentials to allow them to thrive in our community. We have an amazing board for 2026. Please help me welcome our 2026 board of directors. We have Ms. Debbie, who you just met, as our chairwoman. We have Janice M. Robinson Celeste. She is our vice chairwoman. Please forgive me. I meant to put that there. She's the publisher and CEO of Successful Black Parent Magazine. Then we have Brittany McDuffie, who is currently our treasurer, who transitioned from secretary to treasurer, as well as Ms. Janice. She was previously one of our members at large and took the charge to become our vice chairwoman. So we're so excited to have our officers here for our 2026 board. And we also, my screen stopped sharing. Sorry, can you all still see my screen? Oh, well, I can't see it. Okay, there it is. And so next, we have our members at large. Ms. Wande Meadows is the Executive Director for Hand, Heart, and Soul Project. You all know Wande when you see her. She is a champion in Clayton County and has been a longtime member of BCDI Atlanta. So we're excited to welcome Ms. Wande to our board. We also have Ms. Teresa Dixon, who is a Child Development Specialist at Capitol Hill Child Enrichment. Ms. Dixon is also another longtime member. She shows up at everything that we do. You all may have seen her in our meetings or in person at our summit each year. So we want to welcome our new board of 2026. And as they carry on the mission, as Ms. Debbie said, we have a large mission, but we need some large and mighty people to help support us in this mission. So if you could put some kudos in the chat or some hearts going up to show them some love. They are in the meeting today, but welcome, welcome new members. We're super excited to have you be a part of our BCDI Atlanta family. All right.
Well, greetings, everyone. I was trying to put in the chat, welcome to our new board members. So I'm just going to send that on right quick. My name is Sharon Hudgens-Beck, and I am the coordinator of programs here at BCDI Atlanta. And I've coined the phrase that my hands touch pretty much everything that we do in all four of those areas. And so I am responsible for coordinating all of those things that Tatiana talked about. You can go to the next slide. Oh, well, I guess I should introduce it first. So in December, we had an amazing time. We did our very first data party. And you asked, what is a data party? Well, I'm glad you asked. It is an opportunity for stakeholders of an organization to come together, take a look at the data from a quarter, from the year, and take some time to review it, analyze it, and plan for the upcoming year. So we just wanted to share with you some of this data because when we looked at it and saw ourselves on paper, we were like, wow. So the first thing that we did, these are just a few of the numbers. We served 650 participants throughout all of our programs. We had an 87% satisfaction rate. So we always do a survey and people were appreciative of what we did. And I know this number has changed just since December, but as of when we put this together, we had 25 community partners. So the collaborations with other organizations out in the community that support our work and we support theirs. Uh-oh. All right. So we exploring part of exploring our impact was looking at the number of events that we hosted over the year. And again, we had 16 events with a total attendance of 650 across all of the events that we did. We had 5 village meetings, 4 community cafes, 3 lattes and learning, our lean gatherings, 1 summit, 2 literacy events. We had a new event last year, Elevate the Culture, where we celebrated literacy and gave away some amazing awards. And 39 states were represented. Isn't that the amazing thing about being virtual? We, between our summit and our virtual activities, 39 different states were able to attend and touch. And some of that was also about our other BCDI Atlanta villages supporting us from the national level. So We had people attend our events, but we were outside in 2025. We attended or presented at 14 different events. And I'm not going to read through them all because you can see, but when I say Tatiana and I, and any other BCDI Atlanta representatives that supported us through this, we had an amazing time. And when I say we were on the road, do y'all see coastal Georgia? We were in Savannah. All right. And when we went to the Fulton First Back to School, we had over 300 people to come by our table, and they were able to sign up for our newsletter. Some of them were able to get books. We gave away some books until we ran out. And so that was an amazing experience for us. All right. Look at here, 69 policy events. Okay. And this is thanks to our partners that we some of our 25 partners. And so the SECEJ, the Southern Early Childhood Education for Justice Network, convenes 4 times a year. We made it to all 4 of them last year. So like I said, we were outside, y'all. And we did 4 days at the Capitol where BCDI Atlanta was represented. And then Fund Georgia's Future coalition meetings. We attended 5 of those. And so very excited about all of the policy events that we attended. I know I learned a lot last year concerning policy, early education, and advocating at the level of the state and federal level. Look at that. Y'all see that? Money, 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 money. We received $480,000, $997,000, basically $481,000 in funding last year. And if you look at that bottom number, 14,231 came from donations and sponsorships. That's pretty good. We've set the bar really high for 2026. So we're going to see what we're going to do. But all of these, everything above that are grants. And so we were blessed to have grant funding, and that's what supports the work that we do. So without grants, I wouldn't be here. And without the donations and sponsorships, we wouldn't be able to further the work that we do. So we appreciate our partners and our donors and sponsors.
And I would like to add a victory because the donations for 2025 changed. We received a call the day before Christmas Eve to come pick up a donation check of $25,000. Because of us being in the space, having elevator pitches and literally an elevator, we were able to receive a donation check for $25,000. So we want to continue to be out in the community and spreading love and sharing our mission, because now we're at $39,000 worth of donations. And again, we couldn't do it without the community support, the community inviting us to be in these spaces to present, have vendor tables. So thank you to those who have invited us to be a part of the community events. Okay. Just happy.
Thank you, Tati. I forgot about that. How could I forget?
That was a great Christmas gift for us.
It sure was. It surely was. All right. And here we've got some numbers. Our literacy efforts, we received 5,238 books. That's through donations, sponsorships, and purchases. We were able to distribute 2,736 of them. So we still have some books left over from last year to give away. And trust me, we have some parent events coming up. We have some live events coming up. We usually give away books at our summit. And so trust me, those books will be gone by the end of the first quarter. And then our online activity, guys, our publications online, we had 149 downloads. That is a celebration because I quit I told Tatiana I was not writing another activity guide until we saw where people were actually going in and downloading the ones we already have. And they have been doing that. So 2026, here I come. I'm going to be back at the drawing board creating more activity guides and more resources that are downloadable for our community. So, with all of that, all the celebrations, here are some opportunities for growth. We don't call them that other word. These are opportunities for growth. And so we're looking at the low book distribution numbers. And so we look to all of those books that we have, we look to give away that number this year. That's our hope, right? The current membership is at 133. We've lost quite a few people. Lots of reasons why we may have lost membership. There's a new way to do your membership now than in the past. And so some folks who may have forgotten to renew their membership. They may have not quite figured out how to navigate that because it's a little different than it used to be. So we are working diligently. We have some plans this year for our membership drives to increase those numbers. And then the reduction in funding that we had, although we celebrated that number, it was a reduction, right? Due to the new administrative changes around DEI initiatives, because Tatiana applied for a lot of grants, and some of the feedback we got was we may need to change some of the language to match what's out there. Organizations who do get federal funding are sometimes afraid of putting out there some of the things that we're doing, and others are not. Some of our private donors, they love what we're doing. And so we are looking forward to this year, increasing everything that we've done a minimum by 20%, but we're hoping to do even more than that. That's our story, and we're sticking to it.
Thank you so much, Sharon. And so with all the data that you saw, and keep in mind, this is data for the first 3 quarters. We are preparing our fourth quarter data to put our impact report together. So in spring, we will be able to share that data. But of this community, our goal is to receive feedback from you. So we want to know, because of these opportunities for growth, what are some ways that we can be innovative to increase our book distribution, increase our membership, and also if you know of any funding opportunities that you're willing to share, because we want to make sure that we are able to fully commit to our mission by supporting all of the 8 essential outcomes within our 4 focus areas. So as Sharon mentioned, with big book distribution, we want to be extremely intentional about building libraries at home for children. So that means that we have began partnering with locations where we can continuously go back to those same locations and build an actual library, not just giving the children one book, but our goal is to, at the end of the school year, that child should at least leave with 5 books. A part of that effort is also making sure that we provide training to the teachers to support the literacy tools that we're providing with the children. So we make sure the child has a book, the teacher has that same book for the classroom, but they also receive professional development strategies within the classroom to increase the love for learning. Our third new component is parent workshops. You'll hear more about our literacy workshops coming up soon, but we wanted to make sure we treated this as a full circle effort. The child is receiving a story read from myself. Sharon did some story reads. Our board members did some story reads during Georgia Pre-K week, as well as our Expand ECE coaches. So we are around the state doing interactive story reads with these children. We also had the opportunity to provide professional development as well. And being in front of the parents, making sure that they understand and support for books as we're incorporating and fostering that love for the children in the classroom. We want that love to be extended at home. And so we're super excited about this new initiative where it as a full circle and everyone has access to the it comes to our Read to Succeed literacy efforts. So we're excited about 2026. Again, you are our community. If you see a need or a program that has a desire for literacy tools, please reach out to us. If you know someone who is in need of a national and local memberships for accreditation purposes, please encourage them to join BCDI. And also, once again, if you hear of any funding opportunities that you think we may be eligible for, please don't hesitate to share that with us. But we appreciate this community, and we just want to thank you all so much for supporting us. All right, we are about to now dive into our first guest speaker. As you all know, last year we started the year with financial literacy. So we are here again to talk about financial literacy and home ownership. So our first guest speaker is Miss Meeyah Yehuda, the People's Realtor and founder of Crown and Currency. And Miss Meeyah is a DC born and Israel raised individual. She brings such value to our community as she supports individuals who are interested in home ownership. She has with working with our educators to ensure that they have access to home ownership as well. So we're super proud to bring her on. She is also the architect and founder of the School to Wealth Pipeline. It is designed for our KIPP community, but we are going to bring her back in a few months because she has some amazing things that are about to happen for not only our families in the KIPP charter school community, but all of our families and educators within the school systems. So I'm super excited to bring Miss Meeyah on to share in her expertise about the work that she is doing and giving some feedback and advice to you all on home ownership. So give me just your questions in the chat, or you can raise your hand. We do have 2 additional guest speakers. So if we're not able to answer your question, then we will send them to Ms. Can respond in an email, and we'll make sure you receive access to those questions. So if everyone can give us a hand clap for Ms. Meeyah as she speaks with us about the importance of home ownership. Welcome, Ms. Meeyah.
Thank you for that beautiful introduction. So yes, my name is Meeyah Yehuda. I was born in DC at the age of 5. My parents relocated me to Israel. So the majority of my life was abroad. Actually was raised literally on the border of Gaza. I moved here with my 2 children in 29 at the end of 2019, so right before the pandemic hit. I got licensed, I would say about 6 months of me being here, licensed in real estate. I did not actively practice it until April of last year when I really wholeheartedly dedicated myself to this, establishing Crown and Currency, which is here to serve our community and bridging the gap. More so, I would say the financial gap that we're looking at, the wealth gap that exists in this country. Of course, I've also had the blessing to be able to found the School to Wealth Pipeline, which was initially established to get 70% of our KIPP community into ownership and or real estate investment within the upcoming 3 years. I have now pivoted. I won't say pivoted. I've grown. We're in active conversation with KIPP DC, and of course also APS as well. The purpose of this is to be able to serve the scholar as a whole. A lot of times we look at not just literacy, but if we look at the scholastic achievements of our babies, there is a direct correlation between scholastic achievement and their financial status. Ownership is crucial to that. Statistically speaking, the average homeowner, and I don't want to speak too much in numbers because I really want to speak from my heart, but I am going to drop a few numbers because numbers don't lie. But statistically speaking, homeowners' value is 75% higher than those of renters. And if we look at a majority of our community, most of us, unfortunately, so are still renting. And we have to be able to make the mind shift. We have to be able to demystify what it entails and what it requires to be able to step into ownership. And then that's where I come in at. Of course, every transaction is different. But there are myriads of DPA programs, DPA standing for down payment assistance programs. You even have 0% down programs. So if you don't want to move forward with a grant, because there are a few caveats in that. And again, that's something that would need to be dealt with individually speaking. But if you don't want to choose to go through a grant, you can also get a 0% down. I come in as the realtor and I negotiate those closing costs. And again, I want to reiterate that this process is not difficult. You have to find out where you are so that we can know where it is that you need to be in a position to own. And unless you're home challenged, all of us are paying to live somewhere. If you're renting, that is 100% interest. There is no return that you're receiving on that investment. And again, it really just requires us as a collective, us as a community, making the mind shift to understand that ownership is our birthright. And waiting on reparations, I don't know when they're going to come. So we need to go ahead and put ourselves in a position to win. So, yes, if you all have any questions, I'm here. I don't know if I spoke all of the time that I was supposed to speak. But again, I like to make things simple. I do not want to overcomplicate this. Um, if you're renting, you can own. Period. It's just a question of how quickly can we get you into the position wherein you can own. I have several partners that will help put you in that position. If it's your credit, please don't be embarrassed. We all have to start somewhere. We just need to get into the doors. We have to get to the tables to be able to have the conversation. And it's crucial, especially again, just to bring it back full circle, when speaking about our babies. There's a huge difference with children who are raised with ownership than those who are raised without. And we have to be able to put ourselves in a position where our children are no longer getting it out the mud. They already have a solid foundation and they're able to build and expand upon that. And they're able to steward that which we put into place for them. And then, of course, subsequently, so we're going to see a difference in their scholastic achievement. Me coming from another country, I've seen it happen. We just got to run a play here. So, yes, this is, and I'm very passionate about this. Very, very passionate about this.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Miss Meeyah, for your presentation. We are super excited about the work that you are doing in the community and excited to see where you go from here. So thank you so much. And with you saying, you mentioned about credit scores. So typically, what is the minimum credit score realistically for a first-time home buyer in the market? And with the follow-up question, if someone is just below that, what is the fastest way to boost that?
Okay, so transparently so, you can get into a home at a 580 credit score, but that's the middle score. So what they do is they look at your three scores, add them up together, and then divide it by three. And if once you do that, if you're at least at a 580, you actually can move forward with the purchase. I would not recommend that though. I'm going to be honest. You want to get a more ideal interest rate. So you want to be at least at 640. And to be frank, anywhere between 640 to 720, there's no difference in that interest rate. So it again, it's not as difficult as we've been led to believe.
Awesome.
And if you're
What do you
right under, I'm sorry, if you're right under that, I do have some superb lenders who will be able to actually run a simulation. They can tell you if you need to pay this down, if you may need to pay that down. They can also give you a pretty accurate idea of how many months that'll take. And notice I said months, not years. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I believe I saw someone come off mute. Did someone come off mute and want to ask a question?
I have a question. I have a
Okay.
question, Mia. I
Yeah,
have a friend, she was asking me, and I don't know, because I don't know nothing about real estate. I'm trying to get myself together to get me a home.
that's okay.
She has Section 8 housing,
Okay.
and she asked me, could is there a program she can use her voucher for to start going into buying her a home, getting a
Well,
home?
I would say the voucher can't actually be applied to the loan, but if she qualifies for Section 8, she would automatically fall under Invest Atlanta, but she would have to be within the city limits. She could get up to $20,000 with that. Georgia Dreams also has some really superb DPA programs, which is a down payment assistance. So you don't have to come out of pocket. I actually have like one of my peoples who I work with, she actually got a $650 check back at closing. So again, every home is different. But with her qualifying for the voucher, she would automatically qualify for quite a few of the programs as well.
Okay, okay, she's in, well, both of us in the cab.
Okay.
She's in the cab, not sure what
Okay.
it's
I know Georgia Dreams is really, really good with that. I'm sure there's some other ones. It depends on also what she does for a living. Like if she's
She's a she's also a DeKalb County teacher.
so she okay, so yeah, so we can run it. She's an so that's an okay. So I both of my parents were educators, so I'm very passionate about education. Ironically, so I always said I didn't want to be one because of how much work that I saw that they put in, and I never felt like they were properly compensated. So because of that, I'm extremely passionate with getting our educators into ownership and as an essential worker, period. There are a myriad of programs that she will qualify for.
Okay,
Yeah, plenty of them.
okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have time for one or two more questions. And if not, while we're waiting for someone else, I would like to ask a question about student loan debt. We
Okay.
do work with students that are in school pursuing their bachelor's or associate's degree.
Mhm.
Does does having student loans automatically disqualify them from
No.
getting a mortgage?
No, they can
Okay.
actually go with a deferral program. Again, a majority of my peoples that I work with are educators. And
Mhm.
they can go on that program where it's not even counted against their DTI. So DTI is an acronym standing for your debt to income ratio. So what the lenders do is they look at how much money you have coming in, and then they look at your monthly payments. Is if it's anything that's over 6 months, they're going to tally that into it. So you can have it where when you get into the deferral program, the student loans aren't even calculated into
You
that.
in the program too? Oh, that's something else. Oh, but that's still learning people. Uh-uh.
Someone
What?
else is unmuted. Did you have a question? Hey, you guys were having some good conversation. Oh, come on off mute. Let's talk about this real estate conversation. Don't be afraid. But yes, Mia, if you could please go ahead and finish your statement. But if you do have questions, we will have time for one more question.
Again, there is a solution to everything. We just have to get over the fear of asking the questions. You gotta ask the questions to get the answers. And there are so many, how do I say, many paths that lead to the one. There's many paths that lead to ownership. Just let's figure out where you are so that we can figure out where you need to be to get into ownership. Because that's a way that you get a return on your investment. That is how you begin to build equity so that you can take a loan and decide or take a HELOC, which is a home equity. It stands for home equity line of credit. So every month when you pay down on your mortgage, you build equity because you're constantly paying down on what it is that you owe and you're creating what is considered good debt. So in the system that we all reside in, you have good debt, you have bad debt. Anything that has a return on the investment is considered good debt. And ironically, so it builds your credit and puts you into a position where you can get more money. You have access to more capital. You can get more money and use that so that your money begins to make money for you. Because that's the place that I come from. It's not just to get you into a home so you can be a landlord. Even though, yes, that is an accomplishment. It is to get you into a home so that we can get you into another tax bracket. I'm looking long term here.
What are your
Thank you, Miss
hours?
Mia.
Oh,
And we had, Miss Melody, you had another question?
Yes, wanted to know what's the hours.
my
Uh,
hours.
call and talk to you. What's the best
Oh,
time?
okay. Well, you can call me anytime between 9 and 7 p.m. You can text me, email me at absolutely any time. Most of the time I have my phone on me. So even if you text me at a late hour, more than likely I'm gonna respond like very quickly. So yeah, you can definitely reach out to me. And if my good sis can drop the link, there's
Yep.
actually I have a buyer's form which won't take more than two, maximum 3 minutes to fill out. And I can get back in contact with you once you filled out your information there.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
you're welcome.
And I do know we have two additional questions in the chat,
Okay.
but because of time, we may have to move on and come back at the end. But I at least want to ask these questions, and then that way, either we'll send them back in an email follow-up. We send follow-up emails after each of our meetings. We'll make sure that your questions are answered. We will be sure to include this flyer for Miss Mia that has her phone number as well as her website, which I have placed both in the chat as well as the buyer's form link. We will make sure we follow up in an email. The first question, and I'm putting it out there for everyone because we're going to send a follow-up email. Does a HUD McKinney form help with home ownership? And then the second one is, what if you already own a home but are now an educator thinking about buying a second home? And can you still qualify for educator benefits on the second property? If I can just give you maybe 1, 2 minutes to see if you could add just a little.
So the first question, I'll try to be as quick as possible. It depends on what lending you're going through. It depends on the program. So I don't want to give you a blanket statement because it can be, it can, and then it cannot, depending on like if you're doing new construction. It depends specifically so on that home and who the lender is. The second question,
If you're
if
already
your
a
name is
homeowner.
on, yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, so if your name is on the title, you would not qualify as a first-time homeowner. However, with you being an educator, you can still qualify for certain essential worker programs. So you can get we leaving here with something. I'm gonna say that we leaving here with something. Yeah. And then another, I just want to say real quick, FIFA is coming here this year, and they're not just going to be in Atlanta, where they're going to also be in some other places in Georgia. As someone who was raised in Israel, in a predominantly Jewish country that is big on finances, this is a huge opportunity, y'all. We cannot sleep on this. There's a reason that we have these companies that are now buying up the entire block so they can rent things out because they understand what's going to happen in the real estate game. So I can't stress this enough. Get into something. It doesn't have to be your dream home, but get into something so that you can put yourself in a position where we're changing your tax bracket. I just really want to say that. I don't want to see us be left behind. So that's it.
Thank you so much, Mia. If you all can thank Mia in the chat or with some claps for her presentation on home ownership. And please, if you have any questions, once we continue on, place them in the chat. We will send them to her so we can get those questions answered, not only for you, but for everyone. We're going to send all the questions to everyone. So thank you so much. Her link for her website is in the chat, as well as her buyer's form link as well. But in our recap email, we will make sure we provide that for you as well. Thank you. All right, we have two more guest speakers coming up. And if you have been in Atlanta at least a year or two, you should be very familiar with Operation Hope. Operation Hope is a nonprofit organization that supports families as well as children. Myself, I have an Operation Hope child savings account for my first grader, and I've even had the opportunity to participate in one of Miss Ray's workshops. So I'm super excited to have them here. So if you all can give some claps and welcome Miss Ray Grant and Kyrie Womack. Give me just a moment to spotlight them, but thank you all so much for being here and speaking to our community.
Thank you, thank you. That was a great presentation, Miss Mia. I definitely want to get in a higher tax bracket, so I might need to reach out. Let me share my screen and get this thing rolling. To be see. Okay. Can everybody see my screen? Maybe you guys can give me a
There you go. It's on the full screen. You just press present. Yep.
are we good? You guys see it? Okay. All right. No technical difficulties. Hopefully I get as many claps as Miss Mia got. But thank you for the introduction, Tatiana. As she mentioned, my name is Kyrie Womack. I'm here with a few colleagues of mine, Miss Ray Grant, and I believe another colleague. I think Miss Lorene is in here. Yes, Miss Roches is in here. And I'm just here to really briefly introduce, if you haven't already heard of us, introduce a stellar program that we roll out into the community, coined as Hope Child Savings Accounts. So, of course, we're with Operation Hope and the tools and the resources to master financial literacy, unlock economic opportunity, and of course, transform generational legacies. One of the ways that we get to this ultimate mission is this program. So what I'm going to do is take some time, and I'm going to be very brief, but what I will do is drop my email or our program's email into the comment section. I just did that. And you guys can feel free to ask any questions, reach out if you have interest, utilize that email address, and we'll get right back to you because I will be rather quick because we have a great opportunity that my colleague is facilitating for you all tonight. But as I mentioned, we are the Operation Hope Youth and Community Team. We're rather small. Three of us are here. Miss Charlisa Pugh is our senior director. She could not attend today, but as you guys engage with us a little bit more, you will see us consistently throughout the community. So very quick, what is the Child Savings Account program all about? So in a nutshell, we partner with the City of Atlanta and Atlanta Public School District to equip each eligible Title I APS student with a free savings account that holds a seed deposit of $60. So that is money in these babies' accounts, in these babies' names, ready for them to utilize for future goals and successes. The program is designed to help build long-term savings for the future. So this is ideally post-secondary plans. These accounts are maintained by Operation Hope, and funds will be paid on behalf of the student to cover qualified educational expenses for attendance to eligible institutions. So, as I alluded to, post-secondary plans, that's 4 year, that's 2 year, that's tech school, career readiness, whatever it may be. These funds may be utilized once they graduate high school and elect that post-secondary pathway that they so choose. So how is the Hope Child Savings Account set up? All savings accounts are opened by Operation Hope, and our organization serves as the program custodian and administrator. Some of you may be wondering what that is. Don't worry, it's on the screen. The program custodian basically is saying that we hold the accounts on behalf of the families. It's a safe way for us to make sure that these funds are utilized and going towards the intention, again, college and career readiness. The program administrator term is again getting at the fact that we manage the accounts, providing all information, answering any questions that our families may have, and we make sure that we're in accordance with the rules. You guys can imagine we're opening up these free accounts, we're rolling in free money, we're rolling in incentive bonuses, etc. There may be occurrences where a family member might want to, dibble and dab in accounts that are meant for the babies. That's not an opportunity given this particular screen explaining us being the custodian and administrator. Significant events, again, utilize our email. We have a plethora of opportunities to connect with our community. I want to spare everyone's time tonight. But I'd love to speak more in depth about this program with you all at a later point, this being one of them. Quick and dirty shot of this, May 22nd, May 2022, I should say, was program inception. And then over today, we have over 10,500 students who have an open account. And it's our mission right now just to make sure that those accounts are activated and those funds are meeting our families and landing with our babies. So account benefits, no bank fees, free to qualifying families, no impact on public benefits, various deposit channels. It is a deposit only account. So again, I've alluded to it already. We steer clear of any funny situations where family members or friends may get access to an account and can take money out. That cannot happen. It's deposit only, and it's available to our babies upon graduation from high school and the election of a post-secondary pathway. Families can view accounts online. It is just like your standard banking account. We are partnered with professional banks. The account can grow with deposits and incentives. This is a really cool aspect of our program. This breaks down some of the incentives that we've rolled out in the past, and we're looking to up the ante as we move forward. But of course, as I mentioned, there's $60 waiting for our families, our parents, our guardians to claim their child's accounts. $60 are in that student's name. On top of that initial seed contribution, we have financial wellness workshops, which my colleague Ray will be facilitating one for you all as soon as I wrap up. I got to make sure I don't speak too much because it's a lot of information. But again, please email us so I can connect with you at a later time. Financial coaching sessions, race to read, birthday bonuses, these all um, are attributed to incentives and bonus money, free money that can go into your baby's account on an annual basis. And the workshops and the coaching sessions are actually awarded per attendance. So if you come to my colleague Ray and you say, I want to schedule 5 workshops or 5 coaching sessions, and she has the availability to do so, these incentives will roll in per workshop, per session. So in a nutshell, the way that I like to kick this program to our families is we are essentially equipping our babies with the financial resources to achieve college and career readiness and college and career funds by you, the parents, the guardians, the family members attending these workshops, these sessions, and learning how to better manage your finances in your household. So it's a cool full circle moment with this program that we're running. Financial wellness opportunities. I've alluded to this. Ray's actually got a really cool workshop that's coming up, but these are some of the other topics that we dive into via one-on-one coaching and workshops: credit and money management, home ownership, small business development, and more. When it comes to eligibility, these are for eligible APS Title I students, kindergarten through 4th grade right now. 5th grade come next school year in August. Um, to enroll or activate these accounts, all parents will need to do is input their student's ID number, their date of birth, and the zip code of their kindergarten school. We do assist with this by rolling out welcome letters, ID cards, and welcome kits to school staff. Um, these are more facts, frequently asked questions. I'm sure many of you have questions, but for the sake of time, I do want to speed past these. And again, I've posted a comment in that section with our email address. You can reach out to that address and we will get right with you and schedule some time to talk more in depth about this program and how we can make sure you take advantage of these resources for your babies. Yeah, and with that, I'm actually going to kick this over to my colleague Ray. Let me see how did I do on time, Ray? I did good.
You did good, Brother Womack. You did
Okay,
good.
brother
Thank
Womack.
you.
Yeah. Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
Please put some claps in the chat for me. Yes.
How you ask for your own claps? How does that work?
Miss Mia got a lot of them. I just want to feel the love too. All right, let me stop talking. Thank you all.
Oh, goodness. That is so funny. You might take second place for making me laugh today because Miss Sharon had me cracking up earlier. But good evening, everyone. Thank you, Kyrie. Thank you, Tatiana, for collaborating with us, inviting us onto the call. Ms. Meeyah, you did a great job as well in putting emphasis on home ownership and just ownership in general in our community. So glad to be here, just as Kyrie was saying. I'm going to try to keep this brief and as powerful as possible. But my name is Ray Grant. I am a financial coach with Operation Hope. Specifically, I serve on the Hope Child Savings Account team, as Kyrie was saying. So when he is speaking of the workshops and the coaching sessions that parents get access to, I am the coach that hosts them and that meets with our parents. Now, I am a financial coach for all APS parents. So even if you don't have a child in the program, you are still accessible to me, right? And at Operation Hope, we offer free financial coaching. I'm a credit and money management coach. So if you're interested in building a budget, learning how to save, reviewing how to pay down some debt, maybe if you want to clean up your credit, take a look at your credit report. I do all of those things and we do them for free. If you're looking for a home ownership coach, we do offer free coaching for home ownership clients. They will bring you through the entire process from beginning to end as to becoming a homeowner. And then the same thing for small business. We have small business coaches as well. Now, today I will be talking about budgeting, and I want to share my screen. Here we go. So I want today to be I'm going to stay a little bit on the presentation, but I really want us to be getting some work in. I want this to be a working meeting. And my desire is for everyone to leave here with a actual budget, right? So we're talking about budgeting tonight, budgeting and saving. So if you're ready to do some work, amen, let's tap in. So we're going to start with an icebreaker. Just want to see how people are, where people are falling. It's January of 2026. And so it's the top of the year. It's time to set some goals. But want to just do an icebreaker. If you want to drop it in the chat, you're more than welcome to. If you want to raise your hand and come off mute, you're also welcome to as well. But our icebreaker is sharing your name. You can share what part of town of Atlanta you're in, or what part of the city you're in, and then share a personal financial success story or a financial challenge. And I want to make sure that you all feel encouraged to speak about these things, right? We rarely have the spaces as adults to talk about finances. In fact, it's very taboo to even talk about these things. So I want this to be that safe space that we all feel welcome, but this is no pressure. I just want everyone to feel comfortable. So if anyone would like to drop it in the chat or come off mute, our icebreaker is your name, maybe what part of town you're in, and maybe share a financial success or a financial challenge. Okay, I'm seeing some in the chat. Adrian J, Atlanta. Hello, Adrian. Need to improve my credit. He's a single father. Hello to you, Adrian. Thank you so much for joining us. Single father in the house. I'm so here for it. So here for it. And you want to improve your credit. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Anyone else want to share their reflection, their icebreaker? I see a few people saying where they're from. Okay. I see Sharon, East Point. A financial challenge is increasing her savings and investments. 100% here for it. Love it. I like how specific you are when you're like, I want to increase my savings and my investments. Love that. Tatiana, that's my girl. Goal is to save, save, save. Yes, ma'am. We're going to do it this year. We're going to do it.
And I'm going to piggyback off Sharon. Hold on. Sorry, wrong computer. I'm using two. Stop being a scary investor. Saving in a savings account is not as great as investing in an investment account. So I'm going to be attending your workshops on that.
Yes, it definitely, there was something Meeyah was saying about, I might kind of be rewording this or paraphrasing, but not basically facing the music. Basically, I think someone put it in the chat. Sometimes we don't want to really take a look at what's actually going on with ourselves financially. The best thing you can do is be honest with yourself before you share with anybody else. Just be honest with yourself. Where's your savings? Where's your credit? What are your financial goals for the year? Take some time to process that, and then seek the resources, seek the help so that you can actually get to where you want to be. If you want to be a homeowner by 2026, talk to the homeowners, right? Talk to the people. If you want to increase your credit score, let's chat. I'm going to read a couple more. Sheila Valdosta, she's in Valdosta. She said, increase my husband's score a lot. Okay, you might need to be a coach. She increased her husband's score. Love it. And then Sherrod said, I'm in Clayton County, young educator that is trying to tackle this credit card debt. One success is that I paid $2,000 in 6 months. Yes. Do y'all want to teach this class or what? I will say I also have a credit debt management workshop as well. So I will be sharing those resources so you all can join me as I talk about those things as well. But I love the financial successes and the challenges too. Thank you all for your transparency. In the spirit of transparency, I will share it was a challenge that is also a success. But in December, this past December, just last month, my car lender, they told me that my last payment was December 25th and that it had to be closed. Like my car loan had to be closed. Well, my monthly payment was $289 every month. They said your balance is $1,800. Meaning they said you need to pay us $1,800 because your car loan has matured, and that's it. Otherwise, 30 days from the time that your car loan, is reported to the credit bureaus, we will mark it as you're late on the payment or whatever. So y'all, I had to give them people $1,800, but my car loan is paid off. So you get what I'm saying? It was a challenge, but it's a success. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So that is one of my financial successes, the challenges, and I want to get right into our workshop because I want us to do some work today. Okay. So this is just our standard definition, the definition that we're going to be working with, right? A budget is simply the strategic allocation of your income to various expenses, your savings, your financial goals. If you have any financial goal, if you want to pay off a car, if you want to pay for a wedding, if you want to go on a cruise next year, if you want to get up, whatever the goal is, we need to start with a budget. And my job today is to help you create one so that you have one for the rest of the year, right? Or you have some structure for the rest of the year. So we're just going to go over some of the do's and don'ts of budgeting and an overview of it, right? So the importance of budgeting, right? A budget is going to help you track where your money's going, period, right? It's going to give you a chance to actually tell your money, hey, when you hit my bank account, this is where you go. And if there's anything maybe like on a bank statement that's happening that's not necessarily in your budget, you have the chance to kind of align the two, right? So a budget is really going to help you track where your money is going and especially where it ought to go, right? That's the prioritizing of your expenses. What are your actual financial obligations and what are we wasting money on? And a lot of times there's definitely a difference. Your budget is going to help you keep your spending aligned with your income, right? Through our exercise today, we're going to figure out if your personal budget is either in good standing or if it's upside down. If you're in good standing, that means that the money that you make in your expenses are less than your income, right? Meaning you make more money than what your bills are, so you have money left over. That's in good standing. When our spending is not aligned with our income, that means we're in an upside down situation. Your income is less than what your bills are, right? So you have a negative number, you're robbing yourself every month, or you're robbing Peter to pay Paul to get by, right? So a budget's going to help you keep your spending aligned with your income. We should not be spending over what we bring in every single month, okay? Of course, it's going to help you achieve your financial goal. When you fall into the situation where you bring in more money than what you're spending every month, then you can have those conversations of, I can afford to save this much, or I can afford to put X, Y, and Z towards investments this month, right? And then your budget is simply going to create an awareness of your spending habits. I'm going to tell you right now, I've lived it. And I see my clients all the time have this same thing. The number one place that money goes when it's wasted is food. Every single time, right? So we're going to spend some time talking about the importance of tracking your expenses, right? Before we start talking about, well, what's my budget? How much am I making? This and that. We need to figure out what are even your bills, right? Now, some people keep their bills in like their phone calendar. You can always check them via email, but where are your expenses and how can we track them, right? We want to start by collecting and organizing your expense data, right? The number one place I'm going to suggest that you go to find this, go to your bank statements. The bank statements don't lie. When was the last time you guys checked your bank statements? Are you guys checking them regularly, or are you like, no, I don't even look at those things because I don't want to see it, right? Where are we standing when it comes to the bank statements? Because that's exactly where it's going to give you all the information that you're looking for. You can categorize your expenses, right? In the documents I'm going to show you tonight, you're going to see how those expenses are categorized, right? You can have housing, you can have transportation, you can have childcare, right? Or family expenses. Categorizing your expenses will give you a chance to make sure that you're not missing anything, right? When you think of this area, making sure that you're not missing it. Uh-oh, moving too fast. Okay. Examining the historical data. So like I was saying, checking those bank statements, paying attention to what you spent. If you go into Georgia Power and you're trying to figure out, my bills kind of fluctuate, I don't know what's happening, check the historical data. Go back to your payment history on all of the things that you pay and make sure that you can kind of get an overview of what you're putting your money to and how much you're spending every month. Just a plug here, I have no affiliation with Georgia Power, but I do pay Georgia Power, and I'm on like the flat rate bill because I can't stand my bills varying. I don't like that. So if that's available to you, I highly recommend it. So there's no question of what is Georgia Power going to charge me this month. Another thing that we want to pay attention to is regular versus irregular expenses. And I have a more thorough list of these bills, but paying attention to that when you build out your budget, right? Your budget is going to consist of your regular expenses, right? Rent, utilities, car note, gas for your car, right? But your irregular expenses are the things that end up popping up randomly, and we're like, dang, I forgot that bill, or oh my gosh, they took that out my account already. I want us to be thinking about these things already so that you know, yeah, my annual or my quarterly life insurance bill is coming up, and it's every March, it's in June, it's in September. I want us to be thinking about those things, even though they're not on a regular basis, right? And then leveraging your online tools, okay? Now, I'll be honest, I did just leave Chase Bank. If you see me on my Banking 101 workshop, I'm going to have a whole conversation about it. But I just left Chase Bank. I'm no longer with Chase. I am a Capital One girly now. But what I like about most online banks, or not online banks, but most banking apps, is that they will show you the online tools, right? I think I had a client who had USAA. I think it was USAA. If you log into USAA on the website, all of their banking tools that they have accessible to you, you can track your spending, you can track your data, you can track your income. If you had high withdrawals that month, you can track all of that. It'll allow you to categorize your expenses. Sometimes we have these tools right at our fingertips, right? So depending on the type of bank that you bank with, or the bank that you have, be sure to use to log into that app and see what resources they have available to you already. I have Capital One. Capital One at the very bottom of their app has Khan Academy, right? Brief education classes and courses on financial literacy. That's free to anyone that banks with Capital One, right? I can't speak for like Wells Fargo or Regions or Truist, but be sure to lean onto your bank that you already have to see if they have any tools available to you. Okay. Now, here's a more in-depth list of regular versus irregular expenses, right? These are going to be the things that you pay on the regular, right? Groceries. You may even be paying insurance premiums on a regular, loan payments, any monthly subscriptions, right? Transportation costs. These are things that you know for sure happen every month, so they ought to be reflected in your budget. However, these irregular expenses, just because they're irregular doesn't mean they're invisible or that they don't hit your account, because they do, right? Membership renewals, if it's gifts for any birthdays are the main thing that I hear clients say. I got my daughter's birthday's coming up, and then my homegirl's birthday's coming up, and then my best friend's birthday. We need to make sure that we're planning for these things so they don't catch us by surprise. Holidays are another thing, right? There are so many Americans recovering from the holiday season that we just left out of. Klarna's, Afterpays, everything buy now, pay later, because we didn't prepare for it financially in September, right? September is when we should be saying, hey, maybe I need to start putting $50 aside each paycheck so that come holiday season, I have a lump sum. It's called a sinking fund. I have a lump sum of money I can pull from to go towards these expenses. I'll say the same thing for Back to school shopping, right? If your children are in school, in May, when they wrap up the school year, we should be having that conversation of how much do I need to be saving per paycheck over summer from May to July, so that come July, I can go ahead and start buying their school things and their clothes and a new pair of shoes for the school year, whatever it is, right? Those are irregular things, but they do exist. The last one I want to go ahead and put some emphasis on: home maintenance, home repairs, car repairs, things like that, right? This is where saving is going to play a huge factor, right? Having a savings account. I can't tell you how many clients I've had this conversation with over the 3 years that I've been here. We'll work together and they'll build up their savings. And let's say they have $1,500 in their savings account, their first $1,500, and then something happens to their vehicle, or they just hit their first $1,500 and I don't know, their AC goes out and they're a homeowner, right? Whatever the thing is, something happens and now they have to use that savings account to take care of it. That was not something that we prepared for because we didn't want that to happen, right? But I'd rather them use their savings rather than leaning on credit to take care of that cost, that expense, right? So these are just an overview of the different things that I want you to be thinking of as we're building out this budget. Okay. So now I'm going to jump screens. It should be sharing everything. Let me double check. Yes, perfect. Okay, so I have a few different documents that I'm going to go over in this workshop. Okay. This is our first one. This is our HOPE budget template. And yes, I will be sending this to everyone afterwards. This is going to give you an overview of your monthly budget, right? Here, this is a fillable PDF. So once I send it to you, you can edit this on your phone. You can edit on your laptop, on your iPad, tablet, whatever, right? Every budget is going to consist of two things: an area where you source your income and an area that you list your expenses. In our income, for an example, we'll say this person brings in $3,500 every month. This is after taxes, okay? As you can see, the numbers just updated. Do you see what I'm saying? Right? Which means you don't have to whip out a calculator. I love that for you. You don't have to do the math. It'll do it for you. Then we get to go through the different the expenses. Now, this is what I'm saying. Categorizing your expenses will make sure that you don't miss something, right? Maybe not all of these things apply to you, right? You could be paying rent or mortgage, but you may not have renter's insurance or homeowner's insurance, and that's okay. But this will give you a chance to make sure that you're not missing a single thing, right? So we'll put some bills in here. Maybe this person is paying $1,700 in rent. We live in Atlanta. They're charging us like crazy, y'all. $1,700 for rent. Maybe groceries, I don't know, they're paying $450 a month. And they eat out and they spend $150 a month, right? These are the things I see. That's $600 also towards food, but that is normal. That is normal these days. Car loan, people are paying $500+ every single month. So I'm going to pause there, right? And scroll down. This formula is showing us this person is bringing in $3,500, spending $2,800, which means they have $700 left over every month, right? Now, this is a budget that's in good standing. This isn't all encompassing, right, of everything that this person may have to spend, but this is a budget that's in good standing. Reason being, it's a positive number. They still have money left over every month, so they can move on to have the conversation saying, actually, now that I know I have $700 left over, I want to save $300 every month. I want to invest $150, and I want to put the rest towards a shopping spree, right? Whatever they want to do, they can do that now because they're in a positive number. Okay. Now this is where things are going to change a little bit. They're going to get a little wacky. Let's say they have to put their child in childcare. This is on the low end. People are paying crazy amounts for childcare. That's $5. Right. I know. I see you, Meeyah. People are paying crazy amounts for childcare every month. And let's just say, I'm going to throw another, oh, of course we need gas to get around, right? I'm going to do another $150 for gas. This person is a hybrid worker and they got to take their child to and from school every month. All right. We're left with $50. Maybe this person has a credit card payment every single month and it's $120. Now look what that just did to our budget. Y'all see? Y'all following me? And if you have any questions, please do not be afraid. Drop them in the chat. Any comments, drop them in the chat, or you can come off mute. This is what happens when our budget is upside down, meaning the money that you bring in, that 3,500, is less than what your obligations are. We haven't even got to the fun money. We haven't even got to, if you want to take your kids somewhere every month, we haven't gotten to, I get my nails done every 2 weeks. We haven't even gotten there, right? So this is the reality of a budget though, right? It's either in good standing or it's upside down. So this template is going to give you the chance to do that. Now, Operation Hope is my organization, so I'm always going to opt for this or recommend it. But I came from another organization, and I'm not trying to, do any loyalty wars, but this budget template I find to be more digestible because it encompasses everything. Bear with me. In this category up here, we have our monthly fixed expenses, right? So let's say we add all of those bills back there, right? 1,700. It's a fillable PDF, of course, so I got you, no math involved. I think we said 500 for groceries. No, we said 450. 450 for groceries. I think we said credit card, they pay 120. I'm not sure. Card note was 500. Gas was 150. Cool, whatever. I'm going to pause right there. Pay attention. When people say you should have 1 to 6 months of expenses saved up, people are like, okay, well, how much? What are my expenses? How much should I have saved up? We're going to take your fixed expenses every single month and multiply that by however many months you're trying to get to, right? So if you're saying, my goal this year is to get to 1 month of expenses saved up, that 1 month is this number right here. Fixed expenses, right? And I say it's fixed expenses because as you'll see down here, we have discretionary spending. This is your fun stuff, right? Shopping, subscriptions, and dining out, all of those things. And we have savings down here too, which is why I like this document. But when we think about what 1 month of expenses is, like a 1 month emergency fund, an emergency fund is for emergencies, right? I'm not going to tell you you should have $200 saved up for dining out because given a scenario of an emergency, you're not spending $200 on dining out. $200 is going to your groceries, right? God forbid you lost your job. These are the things. This number right here is going to reflect what you need to have saved up to get you by for 1 month. So this number is more reflective, more true of what 1 month of expenses looks like. And simply, if we're taking that number, 2920 times 2, 5,800, that's 2 months of expenses, and so on and so forth. You get what I'm saying? But this is one that I like more. Reason being, not only does it separate, right, your discretionary funds, I've seen a lot of budgets where this number and this number are high, and there's $0 here, right? Where we're not saving anything this month or any month, and we're not investing anything, right? So I like that we can kind of divvy it up. Okay, maybe I do treat myself, every now and then. I tithe a little bit. Maybe I give 175, but I'm also putting 150 every single month into savings. And guess what? I'm still bringing in $3,500. The proof is in the numbers, right? So this is why I kind of like this one a little bit better, because it gives you a chance to say, hey, I need my full financial picture to be right in front of me. I need to know what my fixed expenses are. God forbid anything happen. This is what has to get paid. I can say goodbye to Netflix for 2 months if I have to. We can. But given the situation that we don't have to say goodbye, what else builds into my financial picture? Okay, I do dine out and I do tithe, right? Great. Also for my savings, I'm going to act like I'm Tatiana. I'm going to save 150, but I also want to invest. Investing. Guess what? Tatiana can afford to invest. I'm going to do 100 just to be on the safe side. She can afford to invest $100 a month. Boom. And guess what? She still has $80 left over. She's not upside down, right? And so I'm going to be sharing this document. I'll stop sharing my screen because I know I'm coming up on my time. Tatiana, I hope I did good on time. But I want you all to just kind of understand that budgeting doesn't have to be this complicated, complex, step-by-step type of thing. List your bills, list your income, take the difference. Okay. Last thing, I'm going to drop it's a registration form, but I just want to make sure that we get names and emails for those that are interested in follow-up. Or Tatiana, are you sharing that afterwards? I don't know.
Yes, but you can send me the link or you can go ahead and put it in the chat for those that are available to go ahead and complete it. But we will also send it in a follow-up email with a copy of the recording and your contact information as well.
Perfect. Perfect.
All right. Does anyone have any questions? I'm just going to give a personal testimony real quick. I did attend the budgeting workshop, and yes, I am 42 years old. I have been the treasurer of BCDI-Atlanta for 6 years previous to this role, but that workshop was just a great refresher to me to make sure that I'm staying focused and staying on top of my finances as life changes. So I love all the documents. I'm a document fanatic. So I would like to challenge you all to just take a look and try. Even if you already have a budgeting system, if you don't have a budgeting system, we're going to encourage you to try one or the other or both of the templates to see which one works best for you. Try it for 3 months. We'll be back in April, and I'm going to ask you all who tried the budget and what did, how did it help you with your planning for your future? So we're going to take a moment to ask any questions. We do have time for questions, so you can raise your hand or you can place them in the chat. But we want to make sure that you have 2 experts on the line, and we want to make sure that we leave space for you to be able to ask questions. Okay. So if you all don't have any questions, I have some pre-populated questions that came to mind when I was preparing for this presentation. So one of the questions is, for families living paycheck to paycheck, the idea of saving can feel impossible. What is one small, realistic step that they can take to start building an emergency fund without overwhelming their budget?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say automatic transfers in your bank account, right? So if you have access to your checking account, if you have a checking account, and you have a direct deposit going there, or even if you like work somewhere and you receive tips, right? I was in the serving field for a year and a half. If you're depositing money into a checking account, open up a savings account. It can be at that same institution, or if you don't trust yourself, open up a checking account at a separate institution, right? But open up that savings account and then set up automatic transfers. Right now, before I just say, yeah, go ahead and send over, $5 per paycheck, because it really is that easy in automatic transfer. But if you're in a situation again where it's upside down, meaning you don't have all the income to cover all of your bills, then we can't have that conversation about saving, because we need to make sure that your family are able to cover all of your bills. So I would not recommend trying to save. Reason being, we have to cover the bills, right? But if they're in a situation where they have money left over, start with $5, start with $10, set up an automatic transfer so that every single time you get paid or when you deposit money into your checking account, you already have a rule in your bank app where it moves money from your checking account to your savings. Then you don't have to do it. You don't have to, you won't have to put it off. It just happens on its own.
Awesome. Thank you so much. One more question that I would like to ask, because we have a focus on young children, what is the best age to start talking to your children about financial literacy? I have a 6-year-old who has an Operation Hope child savings account, and then I also have a 13-year-old. So what is the youngest age, or when should you start talking to young children about financial?
Yeah, I think as young as you can, right? As soon as you start reading to your baby, start reading to them some financial literacy books, right? Which is a perfect plug, as you guys do a lot of book literacy things. But finding different books, like if you have small children, finding different books that are based on financial literacy for your kids. There are books out there that reflect our faces, people that look like us, talking about financial literacy topics. That's a perfect way to just introduce them to the concept of money, right? Earning money, different things like that. Um, but then for as they get older, right, of course, you want to find age appropriate tools and resources. I think those conversations should absolutely start taking place even in middle school, right? Like teaching them chores around the house and teaching them about earning their money, so then they can be taught this is how you earn money, right? Mommy doesn't just wake up and money's on a tree. Daddy doesn't just wake up in the who's the single father? Adrian. This is perfect for you too. So you can teach your child, daddy doesn't just blink and money comes from an imaginary card, right? Daddy goes to work, it earns a living, it hits his account, and here's what he does with it. I wanted to add a quick example though. I had a client I used to work with a couple of years ago who I can't remember what her profession was, but she was a low income mother, right? Single mother with 3 children. I think she was making 35K a year, right? 35K a year. And when I tell you, she had thousands of dollars saved. Not only did she save her tax refund checks that she got every year, she used some of those checks year by year to pay her bills up front. And so the paychecks that she got consistently year round, she would kind of have her way with those. And so, for example, she has a checking account and a debit card for all 3 of her children, and they're all at a phase where they can understand money. She's taught them about it. And they had, she loved to go to Eventbrite and find like free family events that they could go to. And so there was some festival coming up for kids and family. It was free. She packed all of them sandwiches, snacks, and a drink, some water, and said, all of you can take your debit cards to this event. There will be vendors there, and you can use your money, because there's money in there, right? We put the money in there. But mommy already provided you with your lunch, your snacks, and everything you need. So if you forget your debit card at home, you cannot ask one of your siblings for their money, and I'm not giving you anything, right? So immediately she said, I told them this 3 times. All 3 of them, we all got to the event, or they all got to the event, and one of them forgot their debit card. The other 2 are off buying cotton candy and all kinds of snacks, popcorn and hot dogs. And the other one was like, Mom, I forgot my card. And she was like, you have a sandwich. A sandwich and some chips and some snacks in here. I told you before. And so I thought I have never heard of anything like that, but it even inspired me. I have a 10-month-old and I'm going to be doing the same exact thing, like to teach my children that, yeah, the money's there, but I want you to learn how to spend it. I want you to understand the impact of when you swipe that card, when you tap it, the money gets deducted and it's gone. And then to teach them those basics. So that's just a little story.
That's beautiful. And thank you so much to the both of you, Ray, Kyrie, as well as Miss Meeyah. We really appreciate this conversation today. As we're going into tax season, we want to make sure that as we are receiving those refunds, making sure that we're planning for the future. 2025 was a challenging year for a lot of us, including organizations. So we always like to have guest speakers to come and speak from a professional standpoint around financial literacy. So thank you all so much for being here today. We appreciate you all, but we have a surprise. So with ways to get involved, as we mentioned, we're big on members. We are working to increase our membership. If you become a new member, we would like, let me see if you all can see, you probably can't see it, but we actually have a family-friendly money recipe book for kids that was sponsored by Miss Sharon Jones. She is a children's book author, adult author, and leader. But if you become a member, or if you are a current member, I'm going to put it on this camera so you all can see. We would like to send you a copy of, okay, my background is on. It's family friendly money recipes for children. And what I love about this is even using it with my 2 young girls, it's really user friendly. It's for the children, but for the parents to work alongside them as well. And I'm sorry it's blurred. I'll try to snap some pictures and maybe put it in the but it's really easy. What we need versus what we want. It has a purpose, what you need, and getting started. This is a very small tool that we from BCDI Atlanta can share with our community to carry on the conversation of supporting our young children as they're learning about financial literacy. So as we mentioned at the beginning, we are working to increase our membership, but also increase your benefits. So becoming a member and being a current member, you will have access to this book. If you are interested in receiving it, I am going to put our info email in the chat for you to send me your first and last name, as well as the correct email address, because if it not email, your mailing address, we have had trouble getting mail returned from incorrect mailing address, but we want to make sure that we're not only preparing ourselves as an adult, but our children with financial literacy support. So join today. And for our 2025 campaign, our theme is Afrofuturistic Pathways, Imagining New Horizons. You all will hear more about this as we put out our information for our upcoming summit, but we wanted to make sure that you all knew how you can support BCDI. As we did share, we are working on innovative ways to make sure that we can continue our strong mission and supporting our 4 signature programs to advance the quality of lives for our children, families, as well as our educator. So if you're interested in donating, Sharon just dropped the link in the chat. Without your donations, without your support, we would not be able to carry on for 45 years. Yes, BCDI Atlanta is 45 years old, and we're so happy to celebrate this year, and you all will hear more information about that coming up very soon. And I'm going to turn it back over to Sharon.
All right, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about some upcoming events that we have. More ways for you to become involved. So on January 29th is our first day advocacy day at the Capitol that BCDI Atlanta will be. Wait a minute. Hold on. Where am I supposed to be?
I apologize. It should be on Imagining Bright Futures.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Roll it back. No worries. That's okay. We learn out loud. So we are excited. Saturday was our first session for Imagining Bright Futures, our family literacy series, thanks to our Georgia Reads grant to support our Read to Succeed program. So it is free. And it is for families, for the adults. I think I may have miscommunicated for someone. I've got to follow up. But we have 2 sessions because we're trying to meet everybody's need, right? So there's one that happens on Thursdays from 7 to 8:15. It's just an hour and 15 minutes. So this Thursday, we hope that you all can come. And then we also do a Saturday session from 10 to 11:15. It's one session every month for the first 6 months of this year. So from now through June, we will be holding our Imagining Bright Futures Family Literacy Series workshops. And so we hope that you all will sign up. Tatiana has put the link in the chat. You can sign up on our events page. So our community cafe and lattes and learning are 2 more opportunities we have. Community cafe is more family centered. And everyday moments that support literacy and support learning and literacy is our February. So January was this meeting, our village meeting. February will be our community cafe on February 10th, same time, 6:30 to 8. And then in March, we will host our lattes and learning, which is a little more focused on our educators and it's really, any stakeholder, anybody that works with children. And this one will be Big Feelings, Brave Spaces, supporting social emotional development with your children. And again, this one's on March 10th from 6:30 to 8.
So
Yeah.
I'll take it from here for the sake of time. We do have some additional resources that we would like to share with you in your follow-up email, but we wanted to thank you all so much for being here for our first 2026 village meeting. We're always looking for ideas and topics to have conversation with that are meaningful to the community. So if you have a need, if you would like a guest speaker or someone to come on, please let us know, because we want to make sure that this space is held for you to support you in your time of need. But we want to thank you all so much for being here. Thank you to our 2026 board members. Yay! We're so excited to have you all here and join us and making 2026 great. Also, I wanted to leave just a moment to see if anyone had any questions, comments, or concerns. You can come off mute or you can place them in the chat, but you will receive a follow-up email with a copy of the recording, access to Ms. Meeyah to if you have any home ownership questions, also access to Operation Hope if you have questions about workshops to attend with Ms. Ray, or if you are interested in learning more about the child savings account with Kyrie, we will make sure that we provide that information to you. We're going to try our hardest to try to do a group picture. It is a tradition. We haven't been able to do it in a while, so I am going to stop sharing to see if we can quickly, if you have your cameras on, as many people as possible, make sure, oh wait, see, I'm on the wrong computer. Oh gosh, I got to turn this way, but I'm taking a picture on this one. So y'all forgive me, I'm looking on this one, but I'm taking a picture on that one. Okay, so on the count of 3.
Wait,
One,
hold on.
okay,
Tatiana,
yes.
were you saying you were trying to show your face on another one?
Yes, I'm looking on this one. The camera is on this one.
Oh,
Wait,
okay,
I
okay.
guess I could switch it to this. All right.
I about to, yeah, that, or I could take it to Tatiana, either way.
Okay, you do
It's
it. You
up to
do it.
you.
'Cause this one's already ready. Okay. On a count of 3. Hold on. Let me take off. Can you remove the non-videos? And if you have to hop off, we do understand it is a school night, but we wanted to try to capture a picture, a group picture. Come on, Lakeisha. That's one of our Expand ECE coaches. Let's see that pretty face, even if you're driving. Come on, Miss Cassandra. You're about to be a homeowner in 2026. We saw your comments. Okay. We have Cassandra coming on. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
One more. 1, 2, 3.
Awesome.
Thank y'all. Yay!
We did it. And we will send out the follow-up. And our next quarterly meeting is April 14th, same time, but we will include that link in the follow-up. You all have a great day and an amazing year, and we'll see you at our next event.
Have a
Wanna
good
say
evening,
hi?
everyone.
Thank you. Good evening,
Thank you,
everyone.
Tatiana.
Everyone
Good
have a
night,
good
everyone.
evening and a safe
I
week.
know, I was trying to get my daughter
Hi,
to
Isaac.
speak.